So today we'll be looking at a simple image manipulation with Photoshop, and we are going to use just two images to do this manipulation. Are we together? We are going to use two simple images for the manipulation, and we are going to create a moonlight kind of reflection on this image. So I want you to stay tuned and pay attention. All right, so let's go. Uh, First of all, I'm going to select out the background, this other background, because we're using this image and this other image. I believe you can hear me. So I might use any of the selection tools, like our selection tools. If you don't know the selection tools, you should go and check the previous classes or previous videos on introduction to Photoshop. So I might use polygonal lasso tool and make a selection, simple selection on this image, just like this. So after I'm done with the selection, I need to unlock this background because it's locked. I can't do anything on it, right? So I unlock it and I will try to feather the selection so that I will have soft edges. Are we together? So I will have soft edges. So I'm going to use maybe a feathering radius of maybe 30 or 40. Let me use 40 so that I can have soft edges, and I press backspace. So once I'm done, let me. So once I'm done, I'm going to bring that image, this one, I'm going to import it down to this other one. So I'm going to increase the size, holding shift and holding Control T and holding my shift to increase the size. So let me start like this. So I'm going to come to my layer and take this one down. So I'm having these images just like this. And the next thing I'll do, I'm going to stretch this so the stars can be bolder. The stars can be bolder, and so you might decide to marks. There are other ways you can do this, but I'm doing it in a simple way that you all can understand. So I'm going to select this first image here, which is this one, and I'm going to use eraser. I'm going to pick, once I click on the eraser tool, I'm going to pick a soft eraser and increase the size of the eraser and reduce the hardness on 0. So I'm going to have some structures like this, like this. So I use the eraser to erase part of the background and azimuth. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is to create a moonlight action, like a moonlight icon. With maybe I'll use the brush tool, I can use the selection tool. Anyhow, maybe you could download a moon brush and just use it for it, but I'm going to manually create it with a selection tool and just a background. So what I will do, let me zoom into this design, into this image. I will change my background color to this. Let me use this. Yes, I changed the background color to this. I use the color picker to pick this. and I'll zoom out. So the next thing I'll do is to create a new layer with the new layer icon. I'll create a new layer. Then I'll go and pick elliptical marquee tool. Like I said, there are other ways to do this, but this might be simpler for you. So I'm using it. I'm not using so much shortcuts and so much big grammar or so much methods. Just simple so that you can understand. So I will hold shift. I will just make a selection. Don't forget I've created a new layer for that. So once I'm done, right click inside the selection and I'll feather. So I'm going to feather maybe with a high number. Let me use 60 so that I can get soft edges. So I do control backspace and have this, but it's not that soft enough. Not that soft enough. So do control Z and I'll feather again. Let me say I use 90 this time and I do control backspace. It's getting softer. So you see that we are having a color with the stars in the image. So you don't do things differently, right? Because I use the color pick and pick this color here. So I think I'll go with this and I'll reduce the size a bit. Control T and let me zoom out and see what I got. So we are going to have we are going to create another layer, and this layer I might name it rays, the rays of the moon or wherever it's reflecting. It's a rays. This layer I'll name it moon. I believe you can see my layer panel. Come on, layer panel. I believe you can see it. So on this layer we have rays. I'm going to use maybe the polygonal lasso tool. You can also use the brush and just paint around and around and around and you go. Let me adjust this. So use the polygonal lasso tool on this layer and make a sketch. Let me zoom out. Something to just, so I'm going to feather it, feather um let me use maybe 100. So I do control backspace. The 100 is not good enough. I'm gonna use maybe like 130. Control backspace, control D. So I'm gonna reduce the opacity or the fill. When I use the eraser to adjust it, let me reduce the opacity. So I'll use the eraser. I'll pick the eraser and adjust it a bit. So after that, let me just I'll create another layer and since there's a reflection of this light or what on the lady, she must be like her skin color must be of this light. So I'm going to use the brush tool and paint her a bit. I'll switch colors and use the brush tool. The brush tool work with the foreground color. I believe you all know that. So I'll change the foreground color to this light blue stuff. And I'm going to choose a brush, maybe a soft brush, and I'll increase the size of the brush. And this will be on her. So what I'll do next is let me take it down. I'll reduce the fill and have this. So the next thing we do is to create shadows, because there must be shadow, and you can easily do that. Let me um, let me let me create another layer for the shadow. I will rename the layer maybe shadow, right? And I'll since the brush work with the foreground color, I'll change it to black because shadows are black, right? So I'll pick a brush and use a soft brush and I will just paint. So once I do this, I will reduce the opacity or the feel of the brush. Yep. So we talked about color adjustment, right? Right? Yeah. So I'm gonna add a bit of color. This is really let me adjust this a bit. Okay, this is okay. So I'm gonna add a color adjustment. So I'll just come to the color, it creates new adjustment layer and I'll click on it. So on this set, I might use maybe a channel mixer, photo filter, black and white, color balance. I'll use the color balance and try to balance this color so that everything could have one. So you can tweak it in so many ways. You can tweak it in different ways. Are we good? So we have a simple manipulation like this. So you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you for staying tuned.